Good evening and welcome to another World of Warships video with Captain Darkwing Glacier. This video is featuring a member of the Naval Alliance, specifically Midshipman Slack. He is taking out the Tier 6 American premium battleship, the USS Arizona. Looks like the teams are evenly matched in this rank battle. They have two Ryujos. The Arizona's faced off against a Bayern. The enemy also has a Mutsu, a Pensacola, and a Molotov. There are no destroyers on either team. Midshipman Slack is accompanied by a Ryujo of his own. He has a Prince Idle Frederick on his side, as well as a Pensacola and a Perth. The map is Big Race, and the game mode is the dreaded Epicenter. Probably the least popular game mode in World of Warships at this time. They have spawned to the northwest of the map, and as teams usually do who spawn on that side, they end up on the usually heading towards the south to hide amongst all those islands in there and maneuver in there and try to take the center from that side. But it's anybody's guess which side that the other team will advance on. It looks like the friendly Ryujo is advancing with the other ships, probably to get some anti-air defense. The Prince Idle is known for having excellent AA for its tier, however the Arizona does not. So it's probably a good idea that Midshipman Slack is closing with the Prince Idle, and perhaps they'll be working together in this battle. The Pensacola is taking up a position behind an island, whereas the Perth is already exposed and apparently spotted by the enemy, who are already firing upon him. He's probably going to have to pop off his smoke. Yep, there it goes. Probably a little bit earlier than he wanted to use it, since he doesn't have any targets yet. The addition of a carrier in ranked battles, especially when there's so few ships per side, can be decisive, depending on how good the carrier players are. But Midshipman Slack does have an excellent ship in the Arizona with its 12 14-inch guns, and looks like the friendly Pensacola just took some damage there. He is showing a lot of broadside, and he's kind of sticking out a little bit too far from behind that island, which could prove fatal, as we just saw, since it looks like the enemy Bayern had a clear shot and blew him up. So already Midshipman Slack's team is down one ship. So we do have spotting on the enemy team now. Most of the fleet is detected, except for the carrier, who is probably hanging back. And Slack gets a shot off on the enemy Pensacola, who is peeking out from behind the island. Maybe he can return the favor. He does get almost 8,000 of damage, but not quite the same as the enemy Bayern did to the friendly Pensacola. Slack is now telling the friendly carrier to get back, because he is getting a little bit too close and actually advancing further ahead than the Arizona is, and he's heading right towards the enemy, so that's not really where you want the carrier to be. Hanging with the other stuff, the other ships, is okay as long as you kind of stay out of sight and behind them, which is not good. So here Slack, he notices the Molotov sticking out from behind an island, and he almost kills it. Nearly 16k damage. He's reduced to, I think it was 183 hit points left before he is then taken out by the Perth. I have to sympathize with Midshipman Slack here, because that scenario has happened to me countless amount of times. I fire a wonderful salvo against an enemy ship, take out 90% of its health, and reduce it to only a few hundred of hit points left, and then I just have to rage in frustration as a teammate of mine is able to secure the kill instead of the rightful person who should, that is me. But that's okay. The enemy ship is down, and now we're even again, so it's good for the team. And in rank, you really don't want to fight over the kills. And Slack now does get revenge for the friendly Pensacola by taking out the enemy Pensacola, who very unwisely came out full broadside in front of both green battleships, and he paid for it. So now Slack has one kill. They have an advantage of 2 ships down to only 1 of theirs, and the enemy Mutsu is now advancing all alone, whereas the Bayern is now going towards the center of the map. Neither battleship can support the other, whereas the green team has both of their battleships on the line astern where they can support each other, so that is definitely an advantage for the green team. Slack is turning his turrets to go after the Mutsu, which is showing lots of broadside here. He fires his forward turrets, and he gets a citadel doing 26,000 damage because he also gets 5 penetrations. So that was a excellent broadside. This Mutsu is in for a world of hurt. It gets bombed. Torpedoes are coming in, and the secondaries of the Prince Idol are also causing some damage apparently. And Slack is waiting desperately for his rear turrets to come around. The Mutsu is attempting to angle away. Let's see if it's going to be enough. Okay, the forward turrets are reloaded. And Slack is wisely waiting for the Mutsu to show more broadside. Shots out. He takes some damage himself. Does about 6,500 damage to the Mutsu. The rear turrets are lined up. Lots of broadside showing here. And that's kill number 2. Another citadel. More penetrations. And now it's down to the Bayern and the enemy carrier. Midshipman Slack has already done 81,000 points of damage. He has taken only 199,000 potential damage. He's not been under a lot of fire here. The Bayern is now very much exposed to both friendly battleships. The Perth as well. I don't think this Bayern is going to last very long. Slack gets the high caliber reward and also the defended ribbon. Now all the ships are approaching. Okay, the Ryujo just took out the Perth, slightly readjusting the balance, and he's now dropping torpedoes on the Prince Idol, and he does get 1 torpedo hit. So it looks like it's going to have to be up to the carrier to carry their team, whereas the friendly Ryujo, despite his advance way too far ahead, is now very safe since he doesn't have many ships to worry about. Shots out on the Bayern. Another defended ribbon and 4 penetrations, reducing him to about 50% health. So we've now spotted the enemy Ryujo, which is on the far east of the map. Not completely hiding down south. Okay, the Idol damages, actually the bombers take out some more damage on the Bayern, and Slack is able to finish it off with another broadside. So that's kill number 3. I think the most damage, or the most kills I've ever gotten in a ranked battle this season, for this ranked sprint, is 3 kills. So Slack has already tied my record. He's just under 100,000 damage, and there's the Ryujo. He launches his spotter plane to get a better angle over the mountain, and I think this Ryujo, whoop, there we go, he just disappeared. Oh, now he's back, okay. He is not going to last very long against these 2 battleships, which will inexorably close in and finish it off. But it's going to be, it's anyone's guess who's going to get that kill. Will it be the Prince Idol, or will it be Slack to top off what has turned out to be a very excellent game on his part? He gets 3 over penetrations, so not that much damage. The Ryujo has launched its airstrike, probably against the Prince Idol, who is now down to 13,000 hit points. He's probably going to attempt to finish that off and then go after Slack, who is waiting for his turrets to reload. They converge on the Prince Idol. Slack is ready, shots out. And he let it a little bit too much and gets no hits at all. The Prince Idol does take some hits. He is still alive, though. He still has 5,100 points. He's not on fire. He is not flooding, so that is very bad news for the enemy Ryujo. Slack's rear turrets are aligned. Gives a good lead. The Prince Idol does some severe damage, so if he gets a good salvo here, this will be the end of it. And not quite. 2,700. He fires the front turrets. Prince Idol also fires as well. And Slack gets the kill. Excellent job. So Midshipman Slack has represented King and Country very well today, and he will definitely be mentioned in dispatches, and perhaps he may even receive a promotion to Lieutenant one of these days. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for watching. When you get a chance, please check out the channels of the other members of the Naval Alliance. These guys produce lots of great content, which is why I allied with them in the first place.